from coast to coast. All right, we want to talk about another story involving the president as the new travel ban also starts today, targeting some 12 countries. The White House saying the nations are high risk for national security. We're going to be joined right now by Fox's Kaylee Schuyler on the ground in Boston, Massachusetts at Logan International Airport. Kaylee, thank you so much for joining us. What can you tell us? What is President Trump saying about this travel ban that goes into effect today?
Hi, Andy Mac. So President Trump says that this travel ban is all about national security and that travel from these countries is dangerous because of either terrorist activity, hostile governments, and high visa overstay rates.
Countries that are being targeted on this do not do proper vetting before the issue visas come to this country. This is about protecting America, right? We spent 4 years, got over 2 million known gotaways. How many of them came from a terrorist, our country that sponsors terrorism? We don't know.
In Trump's executive order, travel from 12 of the countries, including Haiti, Iran, and Afghanistan, are facing full-on bans. And travel from 7 other countries, including Cuba, Venezuela, and Turkmenistan, face partial restrictions. Protesters gathered at LAX this morning because of this. There is a lengthy list of exemptions, though, such as green card holders, dual citizens, athletes, and adopted children. Early in Trump's first term, he had a travel ban of 7 predominantly Muslim countries, critics calling it the Muslim ban, but it was reversed by former President Joe Biden. But some protesters and politicians say this ban isn't much different.
Families together. We're here to represent individuals, make sure that they know that we're here with them, make sure their family members know that they're here, because we're not going to tolerate discrimination from the federal administration.
Trump says the list could be revised as improvements are made, but other countries could be added as threats emerge around the world. Andy Mack.
All right, thank you so much. And it's so very interesting just based on all of the major headlines that we've been following in LA, in New York, and beyond. Of course, this travel ban going into effect today. Have you seen other protesters about this travel ban, about the anti-ICE protesters or demonstrators we've seen in other communities in this country?
Yeah, so there was a protest in downtown Boston today at the big park, Boston Common, basically protesting the same thing that we're seeing all of the protesters in downtown LA talking about ICE. And I will say, I showed you the video of the protesters that were outside of LAX. They all mentioned that they were going to be joining all of the other protesters that were in downtown LA later on, because that happened about mid-morning. And then, of course, we're seeing more and more reports pop up. There's an expected protest in downtown Chicago. So we'll see how this all plays out, Andy Mack.
We will, as of course, showing a strong law enforcement there in California and beyond. All right, Kaylee, thank you so much. I appreciate your time here on Live Now from Fox.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. All right, great conversation there as always. As this all somewhat ties together in terms of what President Trump is doing with the travel ban going into effect. Some 12 countries targeted right now, saying those nations are high risk for U.S. national security. And we just saw someone being detained in New York City, again in the Northeast, the barricades up there in Lower Manhattan here on this Monday, approaching 7 o'clock local time there in the Big Apple. Again, coast to coast here on the other side of this country in Los Angeles. More protesters, anti-ICE demonstrators gathering right now as these protests are erupting. You heard there from Kaylee Schuyler in Boston Common. Also, some anti-ICE demonstrations take place. We haven't really got any vantage point, any view of that at last check, but you can just see even in some other communities that we don't have views of. There are people protesting, people concerned about the immigration policies from President Trump and the administration. So we're following this here on Live Now from Fox. This might be a good time, though, to take a quick 2-minute break, catch our breath, get you back out to more of these breaking news events here after this.